Alright, I'm not good at talking to the camera, so bear with me. This job, I'm tearing out this shower and a bunch of this bathroom today, and I'm going to redo it. But the first guys that were in here were pretty horrible. There's tape everywhere to show all the mistakes and poor installation. And I'll start here. They put on these transition pieces over top of the tile, coming down to above there. It should be flush and then flush, but they didn't know what they were doing. The floor tile is super slick. If it's wet, you slip. Somebody should have advised the customer, or whoever chose the tile should have been advised to not choose that, to find something different. And over here where the tub is, the grout line is just massive and ugly. It's just big the whole way across and goes to that ugly corner. He didn't even wipe away the old grout, or he didn't wipe away his excess grout. So huge grout lines. They ended up having to put on these mud caps, which also looks bad, and it goes from no grout line all the way across this huge grout line, and then back over to more cracking grout, excess grout. Didn't clean it. Another big grout line there, ugly. Goes up to more ugliness, and you can see the tiles are uneven cuts and whatnot. In the shower, I'm waiting for the bottom of the shower for the end because it's the worst. But really, you can't tell too well from here, but it's a horrible cut in this miter. It's not matched up at all. This guy over here, uneven. He couldn't get them to stay up, so they started sagging. Another ugly corner there. This guy's raised out 1/8 of an inch. This corner is higher than this corner, and it's super wide, ugly, and does a similar thing here where it goes from a wide grout line down to a decent grout line down here. But he didn't know what to do because his tiles were only so wide, and the space he had to do to cover was wider than that, so he didn't know what to do there. Or they, who knows? I don't know who it was. These guys are usually designed to where the tile can fit a little bit behind, but he did all the cuts completely around it. It looks hideous. Same thing on all of them. Just gross looking. And over here too, some pulling tape, just ugly. Most likely didn't seal the grout, that's why there's so much discoloration. It's just too much. What's next? Down here, we have another batch of wide grout lines, ugly cuts. Really gross. Left a bunch of excess grout here. You can feel it. Didn't wipe it away. You can tell it's just blood ugly. I don't know why these guys didn't get fired before they finished. Down here towards the curb, I'm trying to let you see it. This sticks out. Yeah, let me get a better view. You can see it sticks out completely. That should be flush. It's also a really wide grout line they had to accommodate for because they went way past. And the same thing happens here. That should be flush. This looks so bad. Look how wide that grout line is. The whole way across. Gross, ugly. broken tile. They just grouted it in. They didn't even bother to replace it. They could have just recut that. They decided to stick it. I don't know how that passed. Down at the floor, you can see this tile is supposed to be above this, so they should have had, you know, like a 1/2 inch cut underneath there. The tile comes down on top. They didn't. They did the tile first, and then they just grouted it in. They didn't even bother to cut. They got way lazy the whole way across. And this, of course, has been getting moldy, so there's probably moisture behind. Most likely there's no waterproofing. I won't know until I start tearing it out. But no waterproofing. The drain comes down. It does slope. It does slope across coming down on both sides, but right here it just jumps. It just sinks. And all the cuts are butt ugly and uneven. This guy must have got bumped or something. This guy's sticking up. He's like crooky, like really bad. More ugliness down there. Wide grout lines. Wide grout line. He cut these tiles too. I don't understand why he didn't cut them to size. He didn't cut them the right length at all. He's total, like he's a 1/2 inch off at least. And then it comes down to this, where he didn't put any bottom pieces on the curb. He just used the mud cap bull nose. This is a 1 inch grout line. 1 inch, that's my thumb. 1/4 inch is the max. I don't even do 1/4 inch, I do 1/8 inch and less. And that is just bad. I don't know how that hasn't cracked, but that absorbs a lot of moisture and it wicks it all down below and behind. And it's just bad. So, like I said, I'm not good at talking to a camera. There's nobody here. I'm not good at talking to nobody. More lippage everywhere. Uneven tiles everywhere. There's no symmetry anywhere. Whoever did this wall tile actually did pretty decent, but it's a wall. How can you screw it up? Oh, that's how you screw it up. Right there. So, it may not seem like a big deal, just, oh, it's bad work, but this stuff leads to moisture and moisture issues and water leaks, which can break down your wood. If you were in a raised foundation, it would be tearing apart your subfloor and your foundation, basically. So you want to keep all the water down the drain. You want it to dry easily and go down the drain and get out of the shower. This stuff is supposed to be watertight and really pretty. It's all supposed to look really good, and all this looks horrible. So luckily I get to do it all over again. Alright, goodbye. Alright, I'm ripping stuff up and I'm already seeing major issues. So this is just like no challenge at all to tear that off. Can't tell what that is, maybe some sort of old particle board. Look at that wood. The wood curb. That's not the end of the world. The wood curbs can be done right. It's just too much work to make it happen. And it's still not a guarantee. There's no pan liner wrapped around here. So if you're gonna do a wood curb, you have to wrap your pan liner all the way around, screw it in, or screw it in, put concrete board on top of that, on this side. And then, since you put screws through everything, you have to waterproof it with fiberglass tape and like a waterproofing paint. Thinset cracks. You can't waterproof with thinset. If you ever see anybody do it, fire them, tell them they're doing wrong, tell them to stop doing tile, because it make me look bad. Make guys like me look good, really. Okay, that's it. I forgot to mention, this is all soaking wet. Well, I mean, it's a little drier there. It's wet here, wet. You can see mold. It's all screwed up. It's all fine. I found water. I found a pan liner as well. The pan liner is, in this case, in most cases, it's the final, it's like the last line of defense, so you don't destroy your house with water. So this is not like a strategy to keep things dry. It is a barrier to keep you from deteriorating your house. So we'll see what's behind that, and if there's no water behind that, then the liner has done its job, but nothing else was done correctly. So if you have water under your shower, behind your shower, you don't have a watertight shower, you need to call a professional. Here's more issues. They used excuse me, they used mastic, which is a pre-mixed adhesive meant for stuff like backsplashes and walls, dry areas, in the case that you don't want to mix up any thinset. But it's not meant for wet areas, and this is a shower, so basically because there's mold and moisture behind the walls, all these tiles are probably just going to fall off. Well, these ones up here are dry, they're sticking, but you can see they also used the wrong size trowel. This is for smaller tiles. The smaller the tile, the smaller the trowel width and depth. So this is meant for tiles 4 times smaller. They should have been using a trowel that's like 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8, but I'd do 1/4. But yeah, so that's also wrong. You can see in the corners there's no waterproofing. So this thing was doomed from the beginning. You can see right through. Right on in there. It's not waterproof at all. Excuse me, it's not waterproof at all.